G'day guys, Dale from GottaBTrippin here, and in this week's video I'm in Podgorica in Montenegro. I have no idea if I pronounced the name of the city right there, by the way. I keep using different names. Anyway, this video I'm going to do a bit of a walk around the city, show you a few of the sites that I'm aware of. There's not much for the city, but I'll show you what I can. The other thing I'm really excited about is there's a craft beer industry here, and one particular craft beer bar that I want to go and have a look at is the Academic Craft Beer Bar. No, I've got to know what that means. Is it something that a couple of academics have decided to set up? What's the deal? So anyway, stick around. I'll show you around Podgorica, and hopefully, if they're open, show you an academic craft beer. Okay, so Montenegro. I've been in Montenegro now for a week, but today is the first day I've seen the sun. It's been pouring with rain and misty and cloudy and generally just not very pleasant for going for strolls. But hey, it's winter. This is late January. You've got to expect that. I'm actually surprised at how it's not that cold. But I'll kick this off with a little bit of a rundown of the Airbnb I'm staying at again. This one I'm really impressed with because, as I just got through saying, it's cold. And this particular Airbnb, I've had the heater on maybe for 4 hours, 5 hours a day. The double glazing, the insulation, everything like that, it's toasty warm. So really, really pleasantly surprised about that. By the way, I'm just walking through, I think it's called Kings Park. So let's do a little bit of a stroll through here as I travel on my way, probably getting lost, but on my way around things. I'll go and see the Millennium Bridge, and there's also a historic bridge park, which I'll go for a walk to on the way to the most important thing, the craft beer bar. This is my apartment for the next couple of weeks in Podgorica in Montenegro. So first off the left is the bathroom, all pretty stock standard, pretty basic. Washing machine, ooh, there's a dryer. That's great. After being in Malta, where everything takes forever to dry, that's going to be wonderful. Then the bedroom, I'm going to have to change my name while I'm here though, because apparently I'm now Sophia. I reckon I'll make a very nice Sophia. Anyway, and then we've got the lounge room, large screen TV. I'll have to give that a go, see what it's like. And kitchen. Haven't looked at whether or not it's well stocked with cooking appliances and stuff. And a fridge. Any goodies in the fridge? It's always fun to check. Negatory. That's a bit smelly too. And the obligatory is the lounge actually comfortable test. So let's have a seat. And it's actually not too bad. All right, that's the apartment. More to come. One of the things I'm really impressed about, sorry about the changes in lighting. I'm just walking through treed areas. Treed areas, is that the right way to say that? Anyway, one thing I'm finding interesting about Montenegro is, as a Balkans country, it's quite different to all the other Balkans countries I've been to, because the drivers aren't insane. They actually drive to a reasonable standard. The roads are really good, at least in Podgorica. God knows what it's like elsewhere, but I'll soon find out. And they take notice of pedestrian crossings. In fact, they'll stop in the middle of it's a strange setup, a four-way intersection. If there's a crossing on one end of it, people will stop in the middle of the intersection to let people across. Something I've never seen before. But yeah, it's really quite different to what I've experienced in other Balkans countries. But the other thing I'm really surprised to see is the huge volume of gambling establishments in residential areas. Like where I'm staying, it's all residential. And within 150 metres, there's like 10 mini gambling casinos. So That worries me about the health and well-being of the population, but anyway, I really like this city so far. It's really nice and small. I think I read that the population's around about 280,000, which means it's not that different to the city I come from in Australia. So it's a nice comfortable size, and when you've got cities that size, people tend to be a bit more open and engaging, as opposed to some cities anywhere in the world, including Australia, where people just head down, barrel through, and don't engage at all. So that's a really cool thing. It's also an extremely walkable place. It's very, very nice. I mean, walking through the third park in the time I've been here so far, which is really cool. I mean, and being winter, you've got all of that sort of the smells and just the nature associated with winter. It's beautiful. So really like the city so far. Anyway, I think I'm on the right track to get to the Millennium Bridge. We'll soon find out. So there you go, guys. That is, for some reason, a famous suspension bridge. I don't really see why. It's a stylish looking bridge, I guess. But it's pretty short. It looks cool. Not sure it necessarily earns the kudos that it gets. But anyway, there it is. I could have walked the extra half block and walked along it as well, but I'm being lazy. What I do like though is this river that it's over. It's a pretty cool looking river. I'll go across to the other side. What a beautiful river. Check out that. That is nice. So the other thing that's probably worth mentioning about Montenegro is like a lot of countries nowadays, you've got to pay a tourist tax, and I'm cool with that. I've got no problem with that. The interesting difference in Montenegro though is it has to be paid in each municipality. So if you're staying in more than one town, you can only pay for each town. They won't accept it. So for example, I'm here in Podgorica for 2 weeks, so I've had to pay 2 weeks worth of tourist tax, which was only €12.20. And when I go to Budva next weekend, I'll be there for a month and I'll have to pay different tourist tax there. And the tourist tax differs in each town. I suspect it's going to be more per day in Budva because Budva is an extremely touristy place. But yeah, I mean, I actually don't have a issue with this so long as the money is actually put to tourism infrastructure and social infrastructure and all that sort of stuff. I'm not meaning make things for me as a tourist, but more look after your history and all that. So hopefully they do that. It's actually not badly run here because you have to go yourself, or if you're at a hotel, the hotel provider does it. But if you're at an Airbnb, don't believe the people on TripAdvisor who will tell you that you don't have to do it and the Airbnb host has to do it. That's not true. You do have to do it yourself. So I almost got caught out on that because I believed the people on TripAdvisor. And if you don't do it, you're going to get fined, at least. So, important thing to keep in mind. But the other thing is, it's not just tourism tax. You're registering your presence in each place. So, it's still a little bit Big Brotherish, but oh well. When in Rome. Anyway, I'm still trying to find this historic park. I just came across an English guy who is over here for work, and coincidentally his mate got engaged in Tasmania, which is where I'm from, just recently. So it's such a small world, eh? Anyway, I'll start filming again when I find this elusive historical park. So coincidentally, while I was searching for the historical park, I actually found the Academic Beer Bar. This is one of them. Turns out there's two, and in looking for this one, I walked past the other one 3 times. So this one's out in a bit of a residential area. I don't like filming in restaurants and bars. So it's a little bit of a sneaky film, and I'll show you a bit of a snapshot of the beers and the burgers I bought there. Quick little interruption to the content to put a bit of an appeal out there to you. If you're watching this video and you've gotten this far through, you must be enjoying it. Please consider clicking like, subscribe if you haven't already, and what would be really cool is if you gave me some thoughts in the comments below. Have you been there? What do you think about the place? Have I given you all the information you need? What sort of information would you like to see in future videos? Don't forget, comment, like, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers guys, back to the content. So I eventually found the elusive historic bridge. It's actually called the Old Ribnica Bridge over the Ribnica River, just where it joins the main river here. It was built in the Roman period. I can't tell you exactly when in the Roman period, unfortunately, but it was then reconstructed during the 18th century. It's an interesting spot because it's quite picturesque. It's obviously been set up as a cafe or something at some point in the past, but I don't know if it's just because it was winter when I was there, but there's literally nothing happening while I'm there. Hopefully during the summer they make some good use of this spot, because I reckon it'd be a really nice place to hang out for a nice coffee in the summer. So the only other thing I've seen referred to as a tourist attraction in Podgorica is this tower. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, it's an old tower, but there's nothing around it, no attraction as such. It's an interesting structure. It's surrounded by modern to slightly old buildings, certainly not an old town as such. So I think it's when you don't have much to attract tourists, you come up with something. As I previously said, though, there are a lot of parks, and this particular park is quite a large public park on the edge of Podgorica, and this is a really nice place to hang out. There's a couple little spots to have a coffee. Lots of people sort of coming out, sort of sitting on a park bench and doing a little bit of work on their laptops, or just enjoying the sun in this winter day. So definitely, if you're into parks and enjoy walking around nice places like this during the winter, particularly, it's worthwhile. Now, just while we have a bit of a stroll through this park, I'll go through a bit of summary information. Now, Podgorica is nicknamed the world's most boring capital city, and to be honest, probably for good reason. There's really not a lot in Podgorica, but I would not miss it. I would not skip it. It's definitely a place worth going. It's a pretty little city. It's a great jumping off point to all of the other areas of Montenegro that you can't miss. Would I move here as a resident? Probably. I actually like it. It reminds me of home in a lot of ways, but would I spend more than a month here if I was still slow traveling and traveling around and wanting to gain something from my travel? Probably not. As a traveler, 2 weeks is the top. Probably 2 or 3 days for the average traveler. As a potential resident, I quite like the place. So that's something to think about as well. Now let's flick on to the costs while I was here for my 2 weeks. Keeping in mind this was 2 weeks though, the accommodation might look a bit expensive at $1,315, but it's 2 weeks. If you do a monthly accommodation with Airbnb, obviously you're going to get a discount, so the per day rate would be lower. As far as travel goes, there was only the airport taxi and the bus to Budva at the end of the month. Everything else was completely walkable. You didn't need any transport for anything. The usual things for Netflix and all of those sorts of things, and the usual monthly healthcare and phone contracts and so on, all divided up into 14 days. Looking at the budget, you'd think I didn't eat out very much. I actually ate out a bit here, but it's quite cheap, so that was quite a good thing. And groceries likewise, so I was still buying a reasonable amount of stuff. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for the next video on Budva.